All right. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Out here in the yard, finishing up some last minute preparations for the hurricane that we're supposed to get. Supposed to hit Savannah, apparently. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be anything worse than a tropical storm by the time it gets to us, if it even, really hits us, besides the outer rings of the storm. Hopefully, everyone down in Florida is doing all right. I think it's about to make landfall there. But anyways, today's video, I was going to do the first cup of coffee in 4 months, but I unfortunately didn't do it this morning, and I'm really kind of loath to do it this afternoon because I don't want to be up all night, having not had caffeine in over 4 months. That'll probably happen to me, so I don't really want to do that tonight. So tomorrow morning, I'll film that and get it uploaded before any of this storm stuff happens. We're not under any kind of evacuation order right now, so should be fine. Planning on just hunkering down anyways. I think by the time they tell us to evacuate, it'll be a little too late. And like I said, I don't think it's going to be too bad. So today I want to talk about one of the factors that I talked about in my video of the 3 things you need to do to be successful in Ranger Regiment. And I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep dive on it. And it's the idea of not resting on your laurels and continually striving forward. So I'll admit, this is the one thing that I struggled with as a Ranger myself, was, being too comfortable with where I was in regiment and with my position in regiment, and thinking that I had made it, really along each step of the way. Like when I first showed up, I was like, oh yeah, I'm here now. Like I'm good. I'm smart. I can run. I can shoot. I can, do push-ups and stuff. But I was a little too arrogant in the fact that I had made it to regiment, and I probably didn't put as much work in as a private as I needed to before I went to school. And I eventually did go to school. I eventually kind of realized, hey, I need to really start putting in more work if I want to get my tab. And I went a little later than some of the dudes that had shown up after me, so I was a little late in getting to Ranger School. I think nowadays they're sending dudes pretty quickly, within 6 months if you're a pretty squared away guy. And it took me over a year. It was almost a year and 2 months, I think, before I went to cert. So I did a whole year and 2 months of private time or so. And when I got back, same kind of thing. I was like, oh, I got my tab. I'm hot shit. Like, look at me, which was a mistake. And I kind of let a little bit of my cardio go, and I started focusing on like the meathead, the powerlifting kind of stuff. Not to the point where I couldn't like pass a 5 mile or pass the ruck, but probably not where I needed to be. You need to be. It's hard because you got to be strong and you got to be fast and have endurance. So one of the things that I probably should have done was hop on one of the programs from the strength coaches, and I didn't do that until like I was a year out from getting out. And just not, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase it, but I just was too comfortable, I felt like, in my position as a tab, and I felt like I should have done better and done more looking back. I mean, it's hindsight in the 2020, so I can't really beat myself too much over it. I'm just kind of, in the few months that I've been out of the Army, I've kind of been looking back on my career, and like I have the time to like analyze it because I'm not in it anymore. So it's like I'm able to take a look at what I did good, what I learned, and then, mistakes that I could have made that I don't want to repeat outside of the Army, because it's a little bit more high stakes, I feel like, to a degree, because there's no safety net. Like in the Army, there's a safety net. Like if you screw up bad enough, like you're still going to get a paycheck, every 2 weeks, unless you like really screw up and get like an Article 15, and they'll take your pay or whatever. But like you've got a safety net in the Army to a degree. Like even if someone does get RFS, like they're still in the Army, like they still have time to figure things out. But it's like, hey, if you make a mistake or like get too comfortable out in the civilian world and don't keep pushing forward on things, then you're gonna fall behind. Like the rest of the competition is gonna catch you at some point. So that's one of the main things that I learned from regiment that I've really taken to heart is, and that I've really kind of been implementing now, is don't get complacent. And just because you've succeeded at something once doesn't, like, it's cool, you did it once, like you got to do something else, or you got to repeat that same action to continue to have that success. Your success is is a fleeting thing. It has to be maintained constantly. You can't just, oh, I landed a client once, like I'm a pro now. It's like, no, you got to continue to land clients. You got to continue to do work. Like with my Rockwell Designs business, like I have been working hard on that for about 2 years now, and only just now am I able to make enough money to live off of it. And it wasn't like that when I started out. And if I had, sold my rigs and was like, oh, I can chill out, instead of like continually progressing and making them better and developing new products, I wouldn't be able to do that right now. So that's the talk for today. This is closer to 5 minutes, but that's just something to keep in mind. Like, whether you're in the Army or in a Ranger Regiment or not, like one of the biggest dangers to you and your success is getting comfortable sitting on those laurels and thinking that you've made it when you have made it, but it's not a one-time thing. You have to continue to make it every single day. So hopefully that helps some of you out, and hopefully that helps instill the right kind of mindset for the guys. There's some guys going classing up soon in RASP I've seen comments for, so good luck with that. And dudes that are just showing up to regiment, like, take that to heart. Like, you can't get comfortable just sitting around. You got to continue to be excellent. So have a good one, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for that cup of coffee. Should be pretty interesting.